Hi, thanks for joining. I'm Coach Marv and I'm a specialist in trauma coaching. And for this video, we're going to talk a little bit about how to let go of a narcissist. So I'm going to demonstrate a great strategy for how to let go of a panic response or anxiety or anger. It's a self-help method that helps reset your nervous system to give you a little bit of peace. And the purpose of this little video is to share that demonstration as a precursor to your use of the How to Let Go of a Narcissist workbook, which has a variety of different techniques that you can use for yourself. It also sets up a bit of an explanation in case you want some help outside of the workbook, and I'll describe that a little bit in a minute. First, let me go through informed consent. I'm not a doctor, and if you have medical issues or you're experiencing issues that require medical attention, please seek out that kind of help. I'm also not a talk therapist, and if you need that kind of help, please seek that out as well. I am a coach and I have a lot of experience with this. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people who are survivors of narcissistic relationships, and I know I can help you. So I want to talk first a little bit about a trauma bond. One of the things that we work with for people who are surviving or recovering from a narcissistic relationship is the trauma that they've experienced in those relationships with the lies and the deceit and the gaslighting. And what happens over time is kind of like being brainwashed. You're told one thing and then another. It's that intermittent reinforcement. I love you, I hate you, I want you, I don't want you, I need you, I don't, you're good, you're bad. If you get enough of that going on in your life, this is true, this is not true, those kinds of things, you begin to question yourself. You lose your orientation as to what's true and what's not true. Your body responds to that by trying to attach you closer to the person who's hurting you. And that's the part where we have sort of this codependent relationship where you need to be near them kind of just to protect yourself. But that ends up making you feel like there's a different kind of relationship than there really is. So over time, that develops basically a trauma response. So when your body goes into a protective mode or a survival mode, we call it survival brain sometimes, and it's a way of protecting you, and your brain is making a mistake. It's saying the way to protect myself is to attach myself more closely to this person who I know is really hurting me. That's one of the ways. There's many different ways, but basically your brain is making a mistake. Our job is to help you straighten that out so that your brain doesn't make the mistake of thinking that they're right, you're wrong, you need to help, you need to sacrifice yourself for their benefit. And so when we think about that, this is a stress response that puts you in that mode. So when we think of a stress response, we think of fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Those are kinds of relationships that you have with the other person. A very common one is feeling like you're walking on eggshells. You're never really sure of yourself. You're never sure of what their response is going to be. When you're in one of those stress responses, walking on eggshells or being a people pleaser, those kinds of things, your body is putting off these stress hormones, which include cortisol and adrenaline. Those are the things that help you run away or hide or protect yourself. When you have those in your body too frequently for too long a period of time, stuff goes wrong. You start to have more anxiety, you have depression, you feel overwhelmed. And when you're in that situation, those anxieties and depressions start to be like, that's my regular life. We've got to help you get out of that because that creates this codependent relationship and other bad things start to go wrong. You'll start to have physical symptoms as well as if it goes on, stomach aches, migraines, your immune system doesn't work as well. So the first thing that we want to do in managing the departure from a narcissistic relationship is teach you how to reset your nervous system so that we can process those stress hormones out and you can get back to feeling just like yourself. So I'm going to walk you through a self-help way to do that. These are things that send a message to your parasympathetic nervous system that you're safe, that you're okay. It can process out those hormones and you can get back to feeling normal. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do, I'm just going to walk you through a process right now. We're going to assume that you have in mind, I've got too much anxiety. I want to let go of anxiety. And you may or may not, but go through this with me and you'll kind of get a feeling. So first off, assume that you have some anxiety or remember a time when you had anxiety. And just notice how that feels in your body. Kind of calibrate it so you'll know if there's a difference. So you're thinking about having that. That's kind of our intention, is to reduce our anxiety. And I want you to notice any tension in the muscles in your jaw and release it. Just relax the muscles in your jaw and let your tongue rest gently in the bottom of your mouth. That is a signal to your parasympathetic nervous system to relax. The second thing I'm going to have you do is cross your arms over your chest. What this does is, as we tap or we stroke, it stimulates both hemispheres of your brain. This is also a signal to your parasympathetic nervous system to reset. So either tap like this, you can do it on your shoulders, you can do it right here on your collarbones or on your upper arms, or you can just gently stroke. Either one of those works. I'm going to have you do all of those things at the same time as I have you breathe with me in what we call box breathing. So I'm going to have you breathe in to the count of 4, gasp and hold your breath to the count of 4, release your breath to the count of 4, and relax to the count of 4. We're going to do that 3 times. So holding that thought of anxiety in your mind, relaxing your jaw, releasing your tongue, tapping, I'll say tapping, but you can stroke somewhere like this. And breathe with me in, 2, 3, 4, gasp and hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, relax, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, gasp and hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, relax, 2, 3, 4. Last time, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, gasp and hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, relax, 2, 3, 4. Okay, shake it off, take some normal breaths, and then just calmly notice the difference in how you feel compared with when we started. Notice the difference in your level of anxiety. And you should be feeling some release. This is something you can do on your own by yourself. You can have a different intention each time. Let's say you're sad, you have grief, you could be mad, you could be angry, any different thing that's bothering you. You could be in a panic attack. If you go through this process and you do it as many times as you need to, you can't overdo it and you can't hurt yourself by doing this. You will start to gain control because you're releasing those hormones and you're getting back to a grounded baseline. So want you to know that that's a great resource for you. And it's kind of the basis of some of the other kinds of work that I do. So as you're trying to recover from your experience of being with a narcissist, maybe you have desires to get back together, or you have an urge, or you're just trying to let go of the memories, or perhaps you've had some very traumatic experiences. These are things that this will help. But in the workbook that I've sent you, and this is a part of, there are many other different strategies as well that will help you gain control, find relief. So the question for some people is, I don't know if I can do this on my own. So if you'd like my help, I want to just kind of walk through how that works if you're interested. So I have what I call a rapid recovery session. This is a 1-hour session. Generally, it only takes 1. And as it says here, this is a fast track to healing from toxic attachments. So this is for anyone who's feeling trapped. You've got lingering effects of this relationship or of a tragedy or of loss. And I know from having talked to hundreds and hundreds of people in this situation the range of experiences that you have is just overwhelming. It's just amazing how far and wide these experiences are. But generally, as you're getting out, it boils down to a handful that are really keeping you stuck. The other things you start to get managed. So that's what this is for. We're going to look for the ones that are still in the way, you haven't quite resolved. We're going to identify what the roots of those are, and we're going to neutralize them. So we're going to use some things that involve both your logical processing and your emotional processing. And like I told you before, a trauma bond is a mistake that your brain is making. What we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the automatic triggering of an emotional response to a memory or a thought. We're not making either one of them go away. We're just getting it so that they don't happen at the same time automatically. And that will give you an enormous amount of relief. It's not hard, it's not confusing, but it does require a little bit of help because you can't be thinking about how you're going to do it at the same time as you're doing it. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so when I was talking about your head and your heart, we use what's called EFT tapping. And this is similar. When we're tapping, this is also a somatic response. We're triggering different aspects of our brain. We're triggering how memories are stored and recreating the neural pathways so that they're not connected anymore. And by doing this, it's almost surprising how quickly we can get you out of the toxic hold of the past. So if this is interesting to you and you'd like to talk more about it or learn more about it, or you're ready to actually have a session, I'm going to make it really easy for you. Send me an email or a text. Tell me when you're available. We'll find a time that works. But here's the best part. This is absolutely risk-free. It's $200 for a session. The sessions usually range somewhere between an hour to 90 to an hour and a half. And there's an absolute risk-free money-back guarantee. First of all, I'm not going to charge you until after the session, and I'll send you a bill. But if you decide after the session that this didn't work or it doesn't feel like it's working for you, I won't charge you at all. Obviously, I have a lot of confidence that this is going to work. I have a lot of experience doing this. And so if you are stuck or you want to have greater flexibility, give this a try. You'll be shocked at how much progress you can make in just one session. So I look forward to hearing from you. Love to have you part of the program, and hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.